there's going to be people out there that tell you you can't do something. That's just life. But if your mindset set on something, I believe in destiny. So, like, if your mindset on something, I believe, like, you're going to accomplish it at all costs.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. I am your host, Kevin Brumley. First things first, let me give a shout out to Clubhouse Cards for sponsoring me and this show with all this cool stuff, the helmets, the jerseys you see behind me. Check them out, and you can find their link in the description and on my Instagram page. Which brings me to my point is today's guest is a athlete. He doesn't have a true position because he plays all over the field. We see him take carries. We see him catch passes. We see him in the return game. We see him play, cornerback. We see him all over the field. He's, being recruited by a ton of different schools. This kid can flat out fly, and he's playing for the state runners-up Central Valley. His name is Myles Walker. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's break down a little bit of film and let's get right to it. The first play we see here, Myles is in the slot. He's going to run a bubble. Okay, Amir, the quarterback, doesn't like what he sees, so Myles continues his way down the field. Amir floats one up, Myles catches it, breaks a few tackles, and then becomes a playmaker. He outruns the rest of the defense and takes it in for 6. When I talk about Myles Walker, I think of a playmaker. So what they're going to do is they're going to squib kick it to purposely try to keep it away from him, but he gets it anyway. So what he's going to do here, he's going to pick it up, he sees a lane, and then the rest is history because he's going to go down the field. No one's going to catch him, and he takes it in for a touchdown. Again, we talk about the playmaker. This time he's coming in jet motion. He takes the handoff. Okay, he's going to elude one tackler, and then no one's going to catch him. Okay, lace up your PF Flyers because he's taking it for 6. We go back to the special teams department. Short punt. He catches on the first bounce. Okay, he's going to go down the sidelines, and he yells to the defense. He says, "To the crib, homeboy." And he's going to take it in for a Warriors touchdown. And then if you're wondering about if he can catch the ball, he runs a wheel route. The corner does a good job of sitting on it. Okay, but Amir lobs one up, and he drags the toes and catches it. All right, guys, like I said, on the show today is one of the key players to the state runner-up Central Valley Warriors, and that is Myles Walker. Myles, how you doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
You know what? I'm doing pretty well. And like we said before the show, just taking it day by day, and I can't complain.
Yes, sir.
So, the first question I always ask is, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I grew up in Center, PA. I grew up playing 3 sports: football, basketball, and baseball. Still play basketball and football. I stopped playing baseball a little bit ago. And then I just love the competitive aspect of sports. That's pretty much why I play.
Nah, I feel you on that one. I just rather play games and be out there doing stuff than just sit around and doing a whole lot of nothing. So I'm definitely with you on that. Are you a point guard in basketball?
I used to be a point guard growing up, but in high school they had me either playing the 2 or the 3.
Okay.
I like to shoot a little bit, so.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah.
I asked Amir this, and because people that don't realize is 2 years ago you guys went 5-6, but anybody who actually watched Central Valley could see that you guys were extremely talented. The record doesn't necessarily show that, but at the end of the season you guys beat Aliquippa, and then you guys got bounced the first round of the playoffs. But the following year you guys end up going 14-2. What do you think the reason for the huge increase in wins and productivity was?
I would say outside of football, we always had good chemistry. Pretty much everybody on the team, we hang out outside of sports. We're always around each other, and we had good senior leadership too. So ever since we lost to Derry in the first round my sophomore year, they were just all right, let's get to work. And then right after that, we just started working the whole off season. And then we were just let's go to states, let's just shock everybody. And then that's what we did.
Yeah, and absolutely, man. In the regular season, you guys trounced Aliquippa. I think you hung 42 on them, and you beat them pretty bad. Now they kept it pretty close in the playoffs, but I think that was a real statement win. You guys beat them the year they won the state championship, but people were like, oh, they were resting, they were ready for the playoffs. And then when you guys came out and just beat the brakes off of them. I think that was a real statement win, and people knew to take you guys for real.
Yeah.
So, when we watch some of your film, the thing that stands out is you can flat out fly, man. Like, you're a pretty quick guy. So, what exactly is your 40 time? What's your best 40 time you've had?
Or my best hand time, it wasn't laser, but it was a 4.48, and then that was last summer. So I'm definitely trying to get it laser time to see what it officially is. But
Yeah, that's you can definitely tell that you're moving pretty good. What do you do to get such great speed?
I think a lot of it is just like in my genes for real, because my great uncle on my mom's side is Tony Dorsett. So
Oh,
I think that's where I get a lot of like my speed from and like my football ability.
yeah. And if you don't know who Tony Dorsett is, you should probably just turn off the show now because he's pretty well known, pretty good player.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. And what's your height and weight?
Right now I'm at about 5'10", 165.
So how what weight do you want to be when you start like your freshman year in college?
Freshman year in college, I'm trying to like go into it like at least 170, 175, because I know they'll probably put some weight on me there too.
Sure, sure. And if this were 1970, people would be like, "Ah, he's too small to play the game." But more and more we're seeing guys who are slight that don't have a big frame are becoming more and more acquired. Easiest example is look at Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown went to Oklahoma and then came out in the draft, and I think he measured in like a 168, 172. Like he was slight for sure, but he's got that next gear, which is something that you bring. And being a young guy at that weight, I feel like you could easily leave with functional 180, 185 weight and still have that speed. So that's cool to hear. So again, what I kind of alluded to, and we saw this in the highlights, is you don't have a true position. You're truly an athlete. We see you at running back, receiver. We see you catching the ball. We see you taking handoffs. We see you at DB, kick returner, punt returner. Do you have a true position that you feel like you're gonna play at the next level, or do you think like that's kind of your ace in the hole that you can be all over the field?
I definitely want to like play special teams in college, kick return, punt return. But I feel like if I had to classify myself under one position, it would probably be like slot receiver, because at the slot position, you can like get reverses, pitches, catch short swing passes, go down the field a little bit. So that's why I like that position, because you can pretty much do it all from there.
Sure, and that's a great point. What have you been working on a lot this offseason, trying to improve your game? Like, what do you feel like the biggest hole in your game is?
Just trying to step up in that number one receiver role, even trying to play outside, my versatility, just trying to work on my hands and in traffic, trying to like come down with those hard catches, because I know I'm gonna get a lot more balls thrown my way this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good because a lot of people, you have the ideal frame for a slot guy, but it's important to just be like, hey, man, I can bounce out to the outside. And again, the more positions you can play, the more PT you're going to get.
Uh-huh.
Um, and just again, I said this when I was watching your film. If worst case scenario happens, you're going to be an elite return man. Your return skills are good. And, when I was in high school, I was, a safety receiver and I was a kick returner, punt returner. So, we basically played the same positions. And I was like, oh, I love being a return man, but I did not have your speed and your vision, man. You take several returns to the house and untouched. You know what I mean? Once you get to that, you see daylight, no one's going to catch you. So I feel like at that next level, that's going to translate and you're going to be a home run hitter for sure.
Thank you.
No, that's no problem, man. So what schools have you been talking to?
The schools that have been reaching out to me the most, like the ones where I have like offers from, are Akron, Kent, Duquesne, UNH, and then UMass.
Okay. Has there been any others that you've talked to that um, maybe haven't formally offered you that is something that you might consider?
Yeah, I've been talking to Howard, UConn, the Wisconsin recruiter had texted me on Twitter a couple of days ago saying he wants to talk soon.
Yeah.
So hopefully talking to them a little bit. And it's pretty much just like all over the place, different conferences, stuff like that.
Sure. And I think it might have been Amir. I can't remember. I had a conversation with, one of the guys on here, and people think it's more relevant than it is, but it's pretty relevant where you go. Because you're playing at a high level. And again, what makes the difference between if you go to LSU or Clemson or if you go to Central Michigan, it doesn't matter. The star's always gonna shine. So, I mean, I wouldn't get down if I were you about like, you haven't started getting those big offers, because I feel like if we get this football season in, you're really going to shine out, and a lot more offers going to start coming your way. Not that you don't have great offers right now,
Yeah, because I really only played 1 year of varsity football because my sophomore year, I was supposed to start on both ways, but I got hurt coming out of training camp. And then freshman year, I was like a freshman or whatever. But yeah, this was really only like my first year of varsity.
Exactly, and you can see that you have the ability, great hands, your route running's coming along, and like you have that you can't teach speed. And you have that ability. So again, I feel like as people start seeing a little bit more of your tape, you're going to stand out. That's not in debate for me. Do you have a dream school that you're hoping reaches out to, or you would like to attend?
My dream school, it would definitely be Miami because like growing up, my dad, he used to like always tell me like the history and like everything about them. He was a big Miami fan, has like a whole bunch of sweatshirts, whole bunch of like he has like a football helmet from them. So yeah, it definitely just like bled onto me a little bit. So then I started liking Miami a little bit. So Miami in their prime, I would definitely go there any day.
Oh, absolutely. And I keep like every year I keep hoping they have a big recruiting class, because like it's just college football is not the same without the U being on top. And I keep hoping that they get that resurgence. I would definitely, if I could pick any college, that's where I would go is the U. So that's cool. Now, you said that you think if you had to pick a position for yourself, you would say, receiver, slot receiver. What if a college contacts you and says, we want you to play DB? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I always thought about that because in high school, like especially with Coach Mark, we're not allowed to just say, "Oh, I want to play offense." So I just play whatever like they put me at. But if they put me at defensive back in college, I'll still try to make plays there, and I'll definitely consider playing it.
Absolutely. And that's great to hear, just the fact that you're like, man, I don't care. I'm just trying to, help a team win. So that's great to hear. Give me a receiver that you watch and you try to take some of their, you know, style to your game.
Definitely Tyreek Hill
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one to watch.
because in
Um,
NFL, like the same stuff that I'm trying to do in high school. So I
oh
definitely try.
yeah. Yeah, rip
Definitely,
off the top, return man. Just he's a playmaker, man. Like you'll see him line up as, he'll dot the I, you know what I mean, in some plays. It's crazy. He's all over the field. So that's a great one. Give me just an overall playmaker that you've studied.
I'm a big Michael Thomas fan. Just his hands and stuff. Like he doesn't drop a lot of passes, and I just try to like study his game, watch some of his workouts, see what he does. So definitely him.
Yeah, he's a crisp route runner for sure. That's another good guy to watch. You said Tyreek Hill, but is there another player that your style of play you would compare to in the NFL?
I study like a lot of like any slot receiver, so like the Julian Edelmans, just like people like that who have like similar gameplay to me, similar size, weight. Try to just study those people.
Off the top of my head, a guy that you kind of remind me of is, well, two guys, is Devin Hester and Dante Hall. Dante Hall might be a little bit too old for you, but
Oh, I know
Dante
who
Hall, you know who he
he.
is?
Yeah,
But he was the X factor. He was the guy that just give him the ball. If he finds a way to touch it, he's gonna put six up on the board. And Devin Hester's that same way, where like he literally got drafted without a position. Like he really couldn't play offense or defense. They're like, I don't know. And he was such a good returner. They're like, we're just gonna throw him on offense and just try to get him the ball more, because he was such a playmaker. I feel like that could be your type role where maybe after college you make a team based on return skills, and then you succeed so much that they find different ways to get you involved in the game plan, in college, or if you do make it to the NFL. So I definitely see that.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What have you been able to do during this time off? Have you been able to get lifts in? What have you been working on?
Yeah, I got a little bit of like a gym in my basement, like a squat rack, bench. I bench down there, curl bars, dumbbells. I try to get in every morning, lift, and then usually I'll text like Amir or like our football group chat and see if anybody's trying to go to the field, run some routes, throw a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good, man. Just staying active.
Mm.
Are you worried that there's not going to be a season?
That's definitely like crossed my mind, especially because it's my senior season. But I think they'll have it no matter what, regardless of if it's in like the summer or fall or if it's in the spring. They might have to just push it back a little bit, but I definitely think they'll still have it.
I hope you're right, man, because I've told plenty of players that are incoming seniors, like, especially for you guys. You guys were state runners up, and you guys were, close to taking the whole thing home. That would just be such like a crappy way to end your high school career, where you don't get the chance to redeem yourself to win a state title.
Yeah.
For you and for Amir, for recruiting purposes, that would just be a terrible way to end your guys' career. Do you have a time frame of when you're hoping to commit?
My time frame got a little bit messed up because I was trying to go visit places, trying to like see like where I like best, where I fit at home best. But now, honestly, I'm just waiting for stuff to reopen, trying to go talk to some more coaches. But I was thinking about it like probably maybe during the season, during my senior season. Around then, I was probably going to commit.
Sure, and that's really smart, just for the simple fact that there's no rush, man. Don't rush it, and then you end up committing to a school where you're like, this isn't for me. So that's extremely smart.
Yeah.
Give me a bold prediction for yourself or your team.
Bold prediction: we're winning states. I think there's a lot of potential on that team, especially the 2021 class. There's still a couple of people that I think have a chance to get offers if they're like keep going in the right direction. And we definitely will have some wins like last year, some blowout wins, having a little bit of fun with it too. So
Okay, okay. Do you have any bold predictions for yourself?
I'm just trying to up my stats a little bit from last year, maybe add a few couple touchdowns. I definitely want some more interceptions. I only had one last year, so definitely want a few picks. Got to take one to the crib one time. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, so let's do some rapid fire questions.
All right.
All right. Greatest returner ever in the NFL?
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester, I agree. Give me a high school player you think is overrated.
I don't think anybody's overrated.
The politically
Honestly.
correct answer. Give me an NFL player you think is underrated.
I think Alvin Kamara is a little bit underrated. I think he's better than a lot of people think he is.
Okay, okay. You like those versatile players.
Yeah.
Dream job that has nothing to do with football.
I think I could definitely do good in the courtroom, like a lawyer, because I love to talk. I can definitely argue somebody's ear off.
Do you know what you're going to study in college? Any idea?
I'm gonna go into business management.
That's a good idea. Favorite stand-up comedian?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart's good, man. Something that nobody knows about you.
I could do a backflip. People might not know that, but I can do a backflip.
Favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Give me a food that everybody else likes, but you do not think is good.
Sushi. I don't know how people like sushi.
I,
No.
I gotta be honest with you, I get down with some sushi, but I feel you. For the longest time, I was on your side.
Yeah.
Celebrity crush.
Ariana Grande.
Okay. and then give me a male celebrity that you wish you could chill with.
LeBron. I definitely want to chill with LeBron.
Man, I'm not a LeBron fan. He seems like a cool dude. I'm just not a huge LeBron fan.
See, I love LeBron. I'm the opposite. I love him.
But I grew up as a Kobe guy. Like
Mhm.
Kobe was my MJ, and like even though Kobe would he passed away, but even if like he was alive, he's not like a chill person. He'd probably be a terrible person to hang out with. But that's
Yeah.
my guy. That's my guy.
I feel like Kobe would be too cocky for me.
I feel like he would just be a jerk.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Is there anything else that you would like to, tell young athletes watching?
There's gonna be people out there that tell you you can't do something. That's just life. But if your mindset set on something, I believe in destiny. So like if your mindset on something, I believe like you're gonna accomplish it at all costs. So just keep working and just block everybody out and just take care of business.
I love it, man. I love it because you're absolutely right. There's always going to be people trying to pull you down with them, and just keep your head up. And if you want something, go take it, man. No one's going to give you anything in this world. Go take it.
Yes,
I
sir.
couldn't agree more. So I appreciate you, coming on the show. Like I said, I had, Amir on earlier. I'm a fan of Central Valley. I actually, before our season started, Aliquippa played Clareton before our first regular season game. And I drove up to Clareton and watched them play. And when I was watching Aliquippa, I was like, I gotta be honest with you, man. I think this might be a change in scenery. I kind of think Central Valley is going to overtake them. And everyone's like, dude, it's Aliquippa. I don't know. And then, like I said, you guys end up spanking Aliquippa. So I'm definitely a Central Valley fan. You guys beat the brakes off us, back-to-back years. So I didn't like that. But I'm rooting for you guys now that you guys are out of our conference. And the best of luck.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you like the interview, please, please, please hit the like and subscribe button and support the show. Until next time, guys, I will see you later.